these next 8 questions, we're going to be writing the equations of a line. We want them in slope-intercept form, and so we remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Remembering that this is our slope and this is our y-intercept. So the first few are going to be pretty straightforward because we're going to be able to find the slope by counting off the rise over the run, and we're going to be able to find the y-intercept by just looking at the graph and seeing where it crosses the y-axis. In the later questions, we're going to use a different form to start with, point-slope form, and then from there we'll use algebra to change it into slope-intercept form. So we'll do number 9 here. We know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, so when we have the graph of a line already there, we can just use slope-intercept form. And we have to fill in the slope, so what we're going to do is we're going to find 2 convenient points. Convenient points mean they're on the lattice here, and so here's a convenient point and here's a convenient point. And they're pretty far away, but they are right on lattice points, so now we can just do rise over run. We'll start down here at this one. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So rise is 7, and then our run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. So 7 over 4. Let's put that back in a different color. So our slope is 7/4 x plus our y-intercept. So all we have to do is see where our line crosses the y-axis. It crosses there at 4. So our equation is y equals 7/4 x plus 4. Just remembering for our slope, we went up 7. That's why it was a positive 7, and right 4, which was a positive 4. If we would have gone down, that's negative, or left is negative. Looking at this next one, again, we'll start with y equals mx plus b. We want to find our slope, which is a fraction. It's rise over run, so we're going to find 2 convenient points. Again, looks to me like this is a good point, and right here is a good point. So let's start from our bottom one. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was up 5, which is a positive 5. Remember, it's rise, so you go up first. Over run, we go back 1. It's negative 1 because we're going left. And then we have our x, and then plus b. b is the y-intercept. We can see that easily that it is positive 2, so we're just going to put a 2 there. We can simplify this fraction. 5 over negative 1 is just negative 5. So the equation of our line is y equals negative 5x plus 2. So that's a nice simple one. These are also simple ones. Again, we want the slope-intercept form, and it outright gives us the slope and the intercept, the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b, and we just plug in. Our slope is negative 2/3, so we put negative 2/3 in for x. And we put negative 4 in for b, so you could put plus negative 4. A better way to write it is just put minus 4. So that's the equation of that line. Just plugging right into slope-intercept form, so you need to know what slope-intercept form is. Our next one is just as simple. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We can just plug in what we know. The slope is negative 3/2, so we'll put negative 3/2 in for m. And the y-intercept is 5. It's just a plus 5. And so that's the equation. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 5. Now we're going to move into some problems where we're going to use a different form of the line. And so our different form of the line is called point-slope form. And you need to know this equation too. Point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m, which is the slope, x minus x sub 1, where x sub 1 and y sub 1 are x sub 1, the point x sub 1, y sub 1, is a point on the line. And so if you're not given directly, like the last examples we did, the slope and the y-intercept, you're going to use this point-slope form, and then you're going to change it into slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our point-slope form. So know this, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And then we're going to plug in. The 3 and 3 go in for our x and y. Now they're the same, so this 3, this goes in for x because that's the x value, and this one goes in for y. So we have y minus 3 equals m, while our slope is 1, times x minus 3. And it did say it wanted in slope-intercept form, so now we have to change it. We have a 1 here. Normally what we'll do is distribute. Anything times 1 is itself, so we really end up with y minus 3 equals x minus 3, distributing that 1. We'll add 3 to both sides to solve for y, because we want to get in slope-intercept form, and we really just get y equals x, which is in slope-intercept form. The slope is 1. We don't have to write it there, and the y-intercept is 0. So y equals x. This next one, we can do the same thing, except this one is different. If you read it, it's got an undefined slope, so this is a good time to review some things, and then we'll answer this question. We learned in the past that a horizontal line has two things about it that we should know. We should know that the slope of a horizontal line is 0, and the equation is always just y equals some number. We'll call it k. It just equals a number. Y equals k. There's no x in there at all. It's just y equals a number, and that will give you a horizontal line. A vertical line, it has a slope that's undefined, and the equation is always x equals a number. We'll call it c. And so it just x equals the x value that it goes through. So what we see here in number 14, this has a slope that's undefined, so that means it has to be a vertical line. And since it's a vertical line, it's going to have an equation, x equals c. Now we need to figure out what that c is. All we do for this, once we know it's vertical, it's x equals c, and since it's x equals, we're going to come and look at the x value, and it's -3, so x equals -3 is the equation of this line. I'll do a little note here, hopefully. So this is the answer to number 14, but I do want to show you something. If the point went through 2, -4, and had a slope of 0, since it's a slope 0, we know it's a horizontal line, so it has to be y equals a number. And what we do is we just look at the y value. So that's an extra problem that had nothing to do with the first one, but I wanted to show you what happens if you have a horizontal line. It will be a y equals some number, and you just look at the y value of the point that it goes through. The next group of questions, we're not even given the slope. So when you're given 2 points, what you need to do is you're going to do 2 things. You're going to find the slope. We do that from using the slope formula, y equals y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. And that will give you some number. So this is your change in y's over your change in x's, and that you just plug in your values from your points. Once you find the slope, you're going to use point slope form. And we remember that point slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. And so that's what we're going to do for these problems here. First, we need to find the slope. Slope, as we look at right here at this equation, is y sub 1, which is 1, minus y sub 2, which is negative 1. So minus negative 1. Be careful with your signs. And then x, which is sub 1, which is negative 1, minus negative 4. And so our slope, when we figure this out, 1 minus negative 1 is like 1 plus 1, which is 2. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. So our slope is 2/3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use point-slope form. We actually have the slope now, and we have 2 points that it goes through. We don't need both of them, so what we do is we just pick one of them. So we're going to do y minus y sub 1 equals m x minus x sub 1. And I'm going to plug in. I'm going to use this point. No real reason. So y minus y sub 1, so that's 1, equals m, which is 2/3, x minus x sub 1, which is negative 1. And so we get y minus 1, distribute this, is 2/3 x, this is a plus 1 by the way, because minus and negative is plus, 2/3 x plus 2/3, and then we're going to add 1 to both sides. I'm going to have to move my answer over here to the right. So on the left side we'll get y equals 2/3 x, and then we're just taking 2/3 and adding 1, so that's 1 and 2/3. And so that's our answer for number 15. Number 16, we can do the same way. We're going to start by finding the slope. And so we do y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. So we have a y minus negative 4, which is a y plus 4, that's a 5, over negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. So we get negative 5/2. Now we can pick a point. We can use either one, it doesn't matter. Let's pick this one this time just to change it up. We'll use the second one. And so we have the equation y minus y sub 1, so we're using this for a point, so minus negative 4 equals the slope, which was negative 5/2, x minus x sub 1, which is negative 3. And then we'll solve for y to change this into slope-intercept form. So y plus 4 equals, we'll distribute this. This is minus and negative, so this is a plus. We get negative 5/2 x. And this is minus 15/2. Let's rewrite this. I'm going to put this as a mixed number because it's easier for me to add that way. You can do either way. So we're going to change this into negative. Changing that to a mixed number, you get 7.5. And then we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And so 7.5 minus 4, negative 7.5 minus 4, is negative 11.5. If you kept it as an improper fraction, sorry about that. If you kept it as an improper fraction, you would get negative 23/2. So either one of these will work.